Today we'll have a look at a Hugo Boss pen. I borrowed 3 from Joost from Appelboom Pennen, and this is one of them. I had already reviewed another one. This is an interesting one because this is, let's call it the economy model in the Hugo Boss line. They go up quite highly in price, and this one is 89 euros. You can convert that to any currency you please. 89 euros at time of shooting this, 2016. Is that cheap? No, of course not. I mean, you can get a lot of pens that are less expensive, but they wouldn't be Hugo Boss. So whether it's worth it or not, you can decide on the basis of this review, but 89 euros. Okay, what's in there? Box has Hugo Boss on there, sleeve, cardboard sleeve. People have commented on me not throwing these anymore. That's because I borrow a lot of these boxes. Sellers want these boxes back, so I cannot just throw them out the window, you see. You see? Anyway, that just slipped out, sorry. Hugo Boss, nice box, smooth. I like these boxes. They have a nice feeling to them. It sounds odd, but it's simple but nicely made. Magnetic closure, it's neat. You get 2 things. Sorry, you get 1 thing in there actually. It's a Hugo Boss certificate of authenticity on black paper. I think it's kind of classy. They went for a theme here with the black, and they stuck to it, which I think is a good thing. Okay, and this is the Advance. Yeah, this is the Advance. This is the... I already packed up the other one, sorry. The Advance, as I said, 89 euros, so a Hugo Boss sort of budget pen. Let's have a look at it. I'll cover the parts of the pen, tell what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and then I'll do a writing sum. Like a boss, yes, we know you're like a boss. Not in a minute. Okay. Top of the cap, nothing there. You can see my camera setup, you can see part of my living room. Here we have the chrome cap. It's chrome and actually leather, so that's interesting. I'll show you leather in a second. I like leather. Yes, I know you like leather. Heaven's sakes. Hugo Boss on the center band, a little groove in there. I like that. Clip, simple, metal. Let's see if it works. It works, but it's very stiff. It's very stiff. I like them stiff. No! Stay out of it. God. There's children watching. Anyway, so you have that Hugo Boss there, and then you have the barrel is covered in black leather. Oh yeah, skin tight black leather. Yes, not in a minute, it's skin tight, but it's actually pen tight. Man. So you have the little end cap there with a little, whoops, sorry, a little sort of ridge there. The cap pulls off, and then you have a metal chrome section with a rib there. Is it rib for her pleasure? Yes, Lord Windermere, I knew you were going to say that. It's just a little ridge there, which you can feel. Oh, I bet you can feel. Yes, thank you. Man, he's having a ball. Nib, simple steel nib. The steel nib has the Hugo Boss initials, HB, on there in a fancy script. I like this. It's I don't know. To me, it seems classy. It's a sort of a well, what shall we call that? Sort of a copper plate type script. What's interesting though is that, I mean, clearly their logo is a sans serif, and then they go for a very curly logo. They could have just done the HB in their HB, if you know what I mean. Number 5 nib, nothing fancy. It writes. I've not really had any issues with writing. So let's unscrew that. It comes with a cartridge, no converter, and that's pretty much it. There's metal on the inside, so it's not super light, but it's not as heavy as the sequence, the Hugo Boss sequence. That one is quite heavy. So you hold this pen. Now you have the what do I do with the cap? Here's the cap. The cap pops on there to post it. hence that little ridge. And that's the reason that little ridge is there, I guess, to keep that in place. It's a heartbreaking noise. So that's a good thing, because I think this is it's a smaller pen, and without posting it, to me it feels a little too light, a bit unpleasant. The big metal cap, of course, makes it top heavy, so that's maybe a little bit of overkill, but at least the size is nice. It becomes a nicer size. What do I like about the pen? What do I not like about the pen? Well, I like that it's affordable. I mean, it's not cheap by any means. 89 euros is not an inexpensive pen. But in the Hugo Boss lineup, if you want one of their fountain pens, that is a very affordable one. So in that regard, I think that's nice that they do have various price levels. And I know that 89 euros isn't that cheap, but on the other hand, bear in mind, it is a branded product. It is Hugo Boss. It would be the same thing if, you know, Tommy Hilfiger or whatever brand like that would bring out pens. You know you're going to pay. That's just the way it is. And I think 89 euros is not bad. I've definitely seen a lot worse. I remember that those Porsche pens, for example, easily range to 300 euros. But they have a gold nib. This is a steel nib, so that's it, but the nib writes. The pen writes. The leather, probably not for everyone, but I think it's kind of neat. It has a bit of texture to it, so I see all that. What do I not like about the pen? Well, I don't really like that you don't get a converter with it. I mean, 89 euros I think is expensive enough to warrant a free converter. I do like that you can post this so securely, but I don't like that there is such a ridge in the center of the section, because no matter where I hold it, I feel it. If I hold it like this, then I still feel it at the tip of my fingers, and I just can't hold it high up enough to not feel that. And if I hold it down there, then I really feel it. It's not so much sharp, but you feel it. It's a protrusion. You feel that it's there. So I mean, in that regard, it's just there, and I don't really like that. I understand they did that to make the cap click into place, but I don't think that was the best choice that they could have made. A screw-on cap would have been nicer. Maybe would have added a little bit of to the cost, you know, for the sake of threads, making threads, etc. But anyway, in all, I don't think it's a bad pen. It's a decent pen. It does what it's supposed to do. It's a Hugo Boss pen, so if you're a fan of the brand, that could be fun. I mean, leather and chrome, black and chrome usually works. Black and gold may have worked a little better, but this is kind of nice and cool in the literal sense of the word. It's a cool color scheme, and it looks decent enough. I think this would definitely appeal to some people in design. I really wonder who makes the pens, as I understand that they're made in Taiwan. I have no idea what company that is, but I think they're fun. I think they're fun, and I think this one is a lot more affordable than the Sequence was, which is 219 euros. Okay, having said all of that, I think it's an interesting pen, but you definitely need to see how exactly it writes. That's what we're going to do next. High resolution pictures, as always, taken by the inimitable Gourmet Pens, will be on the website, sbrbrown.com, as well as measurements of the pen. I hope this was useful so far. I thank Joost for lending me this pen. Let's see how it writes. And I'm glad to see you later. Bye bye. Okay, here we go with the Hugo Boss Advance. The nib is a generic fine medium, and the ink is Iro Shizuku. I should not have written that down. Konpeki. Do some writing. The nib is decently smooth. And keeps up pretty well with the with ink flow. With writing speed, I should say. Bit of a skip there and some there, but I don't think that's too terrible. It's not the wettest of nibs. I'm going to write help when one does. In any case, you can see you can squeeze out a bit of line variation. Let's do some reverse writing. It becomes a bit scratchier, but it still writes. It doesn't immediately run dry, so you can go from about a, I don't know, a skinny medium to an extra fine, I would say. A kind thank you to Appelboom Pennen for lending me this pen. I appreciate it, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye bye.